Imagine this. You're one of the most famous NFL players in the world, adored by millions, yet one random fan insults you. How do you respond? Do you retaliate? Or do you turn the situation into something far bigger than anyone expected? Meet Travis Kelce, the star tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, a Super Bowl champion and one of the most recognizable faces in the NFL. On the field, he's known for his incredible athleticism, leadership, and larger-than-life personality. But outside of football, Kelce is also a public figure who, like many celebrities, faces his fair share of criticism. No one is immune to negativity, not even the biggest stars. From harsh comments on social media to moments of public humiliation, celebrities often have to deal with attacks from all sides. And it's not just about their performance, sometimes it gets personal. But what makes a celebrity truly stand out is how they handle these moments, whether they let the negativity define them or use it to rise even higher. So, what happened when Travis Kelce was insulted by a fan? Did he get defensive? Or did he take the high road? And more importantly, how did he turn this painful moment into a life lesson that not only changed the fans' view of him, but also reshaped the way they saw life? You won't believe how this encounter unfolded. In today's video, we're diving deep into this incredible moment where Travis Kelce transformed a fan's insult into an opportunity for growth. You'll discover the powerful life lesson Kelce shared and why it left a lasting impact on the fan. Trust me, this story is more than just about sports. It's about handling life's toughest moments with grace and turning negativity into something beautiful. Make sure you stick around till the end, because this is a story you won't want to miss. You'll learn why Travis Kelce is more than just a football player. He's an inspiration. Welcome to Craze TV, your go-to place for the latest and most inspiring stories. If you love a good life lesson wrapped in real-life drama, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an amazing video like this one. It wasn't the first time, and it certainly won't be the last. As a public figure, Travis Kelce knows that every move he makes is under a microscope. For years, he's been a staple of the NFL, winning Super Bowls and earning millions of fans. But with the spotlight comes scrutiny. Fans and critics alike often feel the need to voice their opinions, sometimes crossing the line into negativity. On this particular day, Kelce found himself the target of one such fan. It was a simple, yet cutting remark, one of those moments when someone takes a jab, assuming their words won't have any impact. The insult wasn't aimed at his football skills. Instead, it was personal, laced with mockery and judgment. Words meant to sting, to get a reaction. It's a familiar scene for celebrities. One fan, hiding behind anonymity, feels empowered to throw out criticism without any thought of the consequences. In this case, it wasn't just about questioning his performance or his image. This was a full-on attack. And while it's easy for many of us to imagine what Kelce might have felt in that moment, it's important to remember that this isn't an isolated incident. It happens all the time. But Kelce, instead of lashing out or walking away, chose to handle it in a way most people would never expect. What happened next would not only surprise the fan, but would turn an ugly moment into something far more meaningful. This wasn't just about a celebrity brushing off a petty insult. No, this was about taking a painful moment and transforming it into a powerful lesson, a lesson that would change the course of their interaction forever. In the face of an insult, especially one that cuts deep and feels personal, most people would react with anger or frustration. It's easy to snap back, throw out a comeback, or walk away, feeling hurt or wronged. But for Travis Kelce, that's not the approach he chose. What set this moment apart was his calm, collected response, an answer that not only defused the tension, but turned the entire situation into an opportunity for personal growth. As the insult was thrown his way, Kelce didn't flinch. He didn't raise his voice or get defensive, as many people might expect from someone in his position. Instead, he took a deep breath and stood his ground with the kind of maturity that's rare to see in moments of confrontation. His immediate reaction wasn't to fight back with words or to retaliate. Instead, He chose a different path, one that would later surprise everyone, including the fan who thought they could get a rise out of him. The key moment came when Kelce, instead of letting the negativity linger, decided to approach the fan who had insulted him. It was a bold move, and in that split second, he could have easily let anger take over, but he didn't. Instead of confronting the fan with more insults or escalating the tension, he chose to engage them in a way that most people wouldn't think possible. As he walked over, the fan probably didn't know what to expect. Was Kelce coming to yell at him, or maybe to scold him for being disrespectful? But what happened next completely shifted the energy of the moment. Kelce didn't raise his voice. He didn't attack the fan back. He spoke to him calmly, as if he was offering advice, not a confrontation. Kelce started by acknowledging the fan's anger, not in a dismissive way, but in a way that made it clear he understood where they were coming from. It was as though he could see through the words that had been thrown at him, recognizing that the fan's harshness was rooted in something deeper. Instead of letting the insult define the moment, Kelce flipped the script and turned it into a teaching moment. With humility, he spoke about how negativity and criticism are a part of life, especially for someone in the public eye. He explained how we all face tough moments, but what truly matters is how we respond to them. Life isn't about avoiding criticism, Kelce said. It's about how you handle it when it comes your way. He spoke about perseverance, staying true to oneself, and the importance of not letting harsh words or setbacks define you. It wasn't just a pep talk, it was a real, genuine life lesson, delivered with sincerity, rather than getting defensive. Kelce's words were an invitation for the fan to reflect on their own behavior. Instead of continuing the cycle of negativity, he encouraged them to rise above it. We all face challenges, he said, and the way you face them defines who you are. His advice wasn't just for the fan. It felt like a message meant for anyone who might be listening, a reminder that it's easy to let bitterness or anger take control. But true strength lies in how you maintain your composure. The impact was immediate. The fan, who had initially felt the rush of adrenaline from insulting a celebrity, suddenly found themselves disarmed by Kelce's level-headed response. What could have been a moment of humiliation or escalation turned into a humbling experience. The fan didn't know how to respond at first, likely surprised by Kelce's ability to turn the negative energy around. They were faced with something they hadn't anticipated, a life lesson instead of a fight. Kelce didn't just show his emotional intelligence, he showed that even in the heat of the moment, we have the power to choose how we react. Instead of letting the insult dictate his emotions, he chose to teach the fan, using the moment as a stepping stone for growth. It wasn't about defending himself. It was about rising above the situation and showing that a calm and thoughtful response can break down hostility in a way no amount of anger could. The fan, initially full of venom, walked away with a new perspective. What started as an attempt to insult one of the NFL's biggest stars ended up being an unforgettable encounter that changed their view on criticism, negativity, and handling life's challenges. They'd come face to face with a person who didn't just talk about perseverance and positivity, but lived it, and they left the encounter not just respecting Kelce, but looking up to him as an example of how to rise above adversity. The fan stood there momentarily stunned. At first, there was no immediate response, just silence. The fan, having been quick to throw out their insult moments earlier, wasn't expecting this level of calm and composure. They probably braced themselves for a defensive argument or a fiery retaliation. After all, they had just thrown a personal jab at one of the most well-known athletes in the country. But what they didn't expect was this kind of grace. Travis Kelce's words, so measured and sincere, caught them off guard. In the early moments, the fans' face likely showed confusion, almost like they couldn't quite process what was happening. It was as though the insult they had so confidently delivered no longer carried any weight. The sting that had come with the sharp words they had thrown now felt like an echo fading away under the weight of Kelce's wisdom. There was no anger in his tone, no trace of bitterness. Just a calm and genuine message, one that made the fan take a step back and question their own actions. As Kelce continued to speak, a sense of embarrassment started to creep in. The fan who had once felt empowered by their words now felt the discomfort of seeing their actions through a new lens. In that moment, they were forced to confront the reality of their own behavior. It wasn't just about insulting a famous athlete anymore. It was about the choice they had made to react with negativity instead of grace. And as Kelce's message about handling criticism with maturity sank and a shift occurred, the fans' hostility, which had fueled their initial insult, slowly began to melt away. The harshness in their demeanor softened. What had been a moment of irritation and judgment now felt like a wake-up call. They realized they had been looking at the situation all wrong. Instead of feeling superior for having taken a cheap shot, they began to feel a deep sense of respect for the person who stood before them. Kelce's ability to rise above the negativity to teach instead of retaliate was something they couldn't ignore. What began as resentment toward a public figure had transformed into a sense of admiration for his character. In that moment, the fans' perspective shifted completely. No longer was Kelce just a star football player. He was someone with integrity, someone who could teach a powerful lesson just by being himself. The words that had once felt like a jab now seemed trivial in comparison to the wisdom he had just imparted. The fan, in a quiet moment of self-reflection, couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude. This wasn't just a lesson in handling criticism. It was a reminder that we all have a choice in how we respond to the world around us. The change was almost tangible. The fan who had started this encounter with hostility now found themselves humbled. They likely felt a sense of personal growth in that moment, a shift that not only changed the way they viewed Kelce, but the way they viewed themselves. What had been a fleeting insult had turned into an unforgettable experience, one that left a lasting mark. They walked away not just respecting Kelce more, but with a deeper understanding of the value of calmness and maturity in the face of adversity. And for the fan, this encounter with Kelce became more than just a chance meeting. It became a defining moment. They now saw Kelce not just as an NFL star, but as someone who had the ability to make them a better person. The fans' perspective had completely shifted, and from that day forward, they were likely a lifelong supporter of Kelce, not just because of his talent on the field, but because of the way he handled life's challenges off it. They had witnessed firsthand the power of choosing a thoughtful, composed response over the heat of the moment, and it was a lesson they would carry with them forever. As the fan walked away from the encounter, something deeper began to settle in. This wasn't just about the exchange they had with Travis Kelce. It was about the lesson that Kelce had shared almost effortlessly. In that brief moment, Kelce had shown that it's not the insults we face that define us, but how we respond to them. It's so easy to let negativity take hold of us, to let harsh words shape our self-image or our mood. But Travis Kelce's calm response turned the situation on its head. He didn't just brush off the insult, he used it as an opportunity to teach. In life, we're all going to face criticism, judgment, and even attacks from others. It's part of being human. Whether it's in the workplace with friends, or even in public situations, there will always be people who try to bring us down. The question is, how do we respond when it happens? Do we let the negativity drag us down into the mud? Or do we rise above it like Kelce did and turn the situation into something meaningful? This encounter with Kelce wasn't just a lesson for that fan. It's a lesson for all of us. How many times have we found ourselves frustrated or hurt by criticism? How many times have we been quick to defend ourselves, to retaliate, or to allow that negativity to control the moment? But what if instead of reacting with anger, we responded with calmness and maturity? What if we took a step back like Kelce did and chose to teach, to rise above, and to use that moment for growth? Kelce's ability to stay composed, to respond with wisdom, and to not let the fans' words define him is something we can all learn from. It's a reminder that we don't have to react to negativity in the same way it's thrown at us. We have the power to choose how we engage with criticism and how we turn it into something that serves us instead of bringing us down. Life isn't about avoiding criticism. It's about learning how to handle it gracefully, and in doing so, becoming stronger and more resilient. Just imagine how much more peace we could find in our lives if we took a moment to think before reacting. If we could be more like Kels in those tense moments, choosing calmness over conflict, positivity over anger, the ripple effect of such a shift would be profound not only in our own lives, but in the lives of those around us. Think about your own life. How would you handle a similar situation? The next time someone criticizes you or insults you, could you rise above it like Kels did and teach a lesson rather than escalating the negativity? It's not always easy, but the power to change the narrative is in your hands. Just like Kels showed us, when we choose to respond with maturity and grace, we not only protect our peace, but also create space for growth and positivity. In the end, what started as a simple insult from a fan turned into a transformative experience, not just for the fan, but for all of us who watched this encounter unfold. Travis Kelce could have easily reacted with anger, but instead, he chose to turn that negative moment into something positive, teaching a lesson in maturity, perseverance, and grace. His response wasn't just about deflecting criticism, it was about embracing it as an opportunity for growth. This story reminds us that life isn't about avoiding criticism or negativity, but about how we respond to it. Each challenge, each harsh word is a chance to rise above, to learn, and to become better versions of ourselves. Like Kels, we can all choose to approach those tough moments with calmness and strength, turning potential conflicts into opportunities for growth. So next time you're faced with criticism or negativity, think about how you could respond with the same maturity and wisdom that Kels showed. Turn that moment around and make it an opportunity for personal growth and positive change. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. How would you handle a situation like this? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.